This next session is called Guide to International Platforms. It will try to gather a list of different organizations that can be resources for your future work into how to sell your performances and how to find collaborators for whatever you want to do. It gathers some information on showcases, on agencies, on other forms of organizations, and a little bit of residencies also. And in the end, some educational advice. So the first part is the showcases. This has been a big focus for the last year here in Denmark to actually professionalize the way we use showcases and how we can present ourselves at showcases. And showcasing is a very beneficial thing to do. It can be very fun to be in showcases, but it's also a very professional part of your work. You need to know what you're doing when you go to a showcase, because otherwise you're going to waste some money not knowing exactly why you're there and what you're doing. Showcasing consists of different things. Normally there will be kind of like an exhibition area. There will be a kind of booth which you have to attend to if you actually choose to have your own booth. A good suggestion is to actually engage. We have been doing some joint booth exhibition, which has been taken care of from the Arts Council or from the Projektkontoret at Dansehallerne. And it's a very good idea to join some of this the first time you're around, you do this, because that way you will have the expertise of somebody else actually helping you in a booth like that. You need to have the right material with you. You need to have videos. You need to have written materials you can give out to people when you are exhibiting like this. And be around when there's network gatherings and people are actually, you have to be aware of the timing of when people are going around in the exhibition areas, things like that. But another very important part of showcases is that you actually presents a possibility for you to show your work. And sometimes it's only in extracts and sometimes it's in full versions, and you have to be aware of this and be clear if you want to show your performance in an extract. It's not necessarily a good idea. This is something you have to apply for in a very good time. It takes a long time to get estimated for a showcase like that, and also to gather the funding. The Arts Council has been supporting showcasing performances internationally and probably will continue, hopefully will continue. But there's also an idea of taking charge yourself to be a part of an off program at a particular showcase, or going to something like Edinburgh and just really organizing the whole thing yourself by finding the space to present your work, and you can actually have full charge of how you present your work. A lot of showcases also have debates and meetings and other social. It's very important to go to all the social engagement going on showcases. Just mentioning that it's also possible for you to organize your own showcase of your work. Danish groups have been doing that, showing 3 or 4 performances and inviting presenters to come here. Or fortunately now we have the Copenhagen stage where you can present your work there, and they will help you actually invite presenters to come and see your show. It's very seldom that international presenter will buy your performance without knowing you really well or having seen the show. The next thing that we have had a lot of focus on for the recent years is agents and how to work with agents. We don't really have any agents helping to sell performances internationally here, with the exception of Malco, who does some work in South America. But there is a whole range of international agents, and if you find a way into having a good international agent presenting your work, then you are in good luck. It's really difficult to get agents to get interested in your work. It has to be very high level. It's like developing professionally to get an agent. And you also have to be ready. You have to be professional, geared in your whole organization and communication to honor what it means to work with an agent. You have to be very precise to always have the material ready for them and to be ready when they sell a production, that you're actually also able to tour that production in the right way. And agents will be a relationship that you build up over time. It takes a lot of trust and commitment to be in a relationship with a good agent, but the benefits, of course, are the bigger in the other end. There's a lot of there's some agents are focused on a specific geographical area. It can be somebody focusing on Spain, for example. It's very hard to sell in Spain if you don't know how to speak Spanish. So it's very preferable to have a Spanish agent. It could be France, but it can also be agents who are specialized in specific genres. Like there's a couple of very good agents within the physical theater and street art area. It can be a dance agent focusing on dance work. You have to really investigate who are the agents that could possibly be great for you, and then you have to start building a relationship with them. A lot of more and more Danish groups have actually managed to get agents. Hotel Proforma is one of them. I think they have 3 different agents in different areas. Dansk Danseteater also has agents. So if you're interested in this field, it's possible to ask them. But there's also the other way around, that there's a couple of festivals here in Denmark who are often collaborating with specific agents, and you can go to the festivals, and that's a way to actually get to know the different agents because they might actually be there at the festivals. Just a comment on agents regarding how do you make an agreement with an agent, because that's also very different. There's a whole range of different agreements on that. Typical one would be that they get a provision of around 15% for the work that they sell for you. Some other agents actually ask for a fixed fee every month to go out there and invest their time to sell your work. And then a relationship with an agent can develop into being talking about being a creative producer. So they are more into how to create co-producing and agreements for you and funding possibilities around Europe. There's a whole range of organizations on the international market that is very hard to categorize, but could be very important to know about, and we have listed some of them below. One of the ones that we mentioned is the Aerowaves, who are a very important organization in presenting emerging dance artists. They also have a festival connected. And there's also an organization that I personally really am following called Arts Admin, which is a UK-based production advising agency that they have a lot of resources that you can look into. There's also an awareness of the cultural capital cities of Europe. A lot of the new cultural capital cities will have open calls for artists, which could be interesting to participate in. Read a little bit about it and see where do you have a feel for something going on that you might find interesting. We are also talking here about residencies, because residencies are a great way to start working internationally. There's really been a development in residencies for performing artists in the last couple of years. So it's a great thing to look into and see how this is a way that, especially when you're young, you can produce by going into different kind of residencies around the world, and just have 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, and 2 weeks there, and then you will create your production by going into residencies like that. There's resources which is linked below in the text on where you can search for different kind of residencies. The last thing I'll just mention is that there's also possibilities of getting further educational programs for young festival organizers, management people, and it's ITM also has some resource building competence center, which is very interesting. If you really want to learn more about this as a manager or a producer, there's some great programs that you can attend to. So have fun out there.